Check. Check, 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 check. Ya, ya lo abrí. I'm checking the link. Oh, I see. Oh, this is funky. Ya, ya lo abrí. Oh yeah, there's actually the subtitles to English, so I think it is working. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's actually the subtitles to English, so I think there's only like a delay of probably 10 seconds, but I think that's not like a big problem. Those like I'm presenting right here, so I think it's okay. Of probably 10 seconds. I think that's not like a big problem. Those like I'm presenting right here, so I think it's okay. Hi Gary, do you know like how many people will be like there in face to face? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, it's okay. Mhm, mhm. Hi guys, can you hear me? Okay, okay. Wait, give me a second, please. Okay. Um, well, before starting, I have a question. I'm going to present the slides, right? Ah. Okay, okay. Let me do that. Mm. Can you see the presentation, right? Okay, okay. Hello, and nice to meet you all. We are Tigres 6652, and today we're going to present three different sessions, mainly about projects. We are from Mexico, more specific on Monterrey, Nuevo León. Wait. Uh, uh, um, Let me check why this is not. Es que no me deja darle de una. Wait. Um, okay. We are from the Autonomous University of Nuevo León, from Monterrey. That is like a city of Mexico. As you can see here, there's some of the awards that we have won in the last years. As you can see, like our main strength is the impact and like the projects, the outreach, and all related to that. So that's why we are going to focus and the how to create projects and how to make it powerful, impactful, and more tips that we will give you in some minutes. In Tigres, we have uh, five different areas where our team focus on. We are currently almost 100 members on our team. Comunicación is like media. Sostenibilidad is sponsorship, sustainability, ingeniería, well, engineering. Educación es team, and emprendimiento social. It's all related to the outreach area. That's how Tigres is divided in areas. So that's just to have like a context of our team, a brief context. Well, in the session of today, we're going to see the project creation process, how we can start doing a project and how Tigres start projects. No le puedes hacer. No, no me deja. ¿No tienen un control? Vamos. Sí, por eso grabamos. Sí, directo el link. Sí. Okay. Well, just give me a minute to check why I can't like move the slides correctly. Uh, just let me check it fast, okay? You also see like it's moving too fast, right? Oh, yeah, I have a Canva. Just Uy, uy. No se apaga, es que. Uf. So, okay. Just give me a second, please. Hello, can you see me, right? Okay. Well, let's try again. Sorry. Okay. Where is this? Okay. Well, as I was saying, we focus more in social projects. This is our year 10, like as a team. We this year like have like 10 years of birthday, so we are very excited to having projects for almost 6 or 8 years that have last like in all the history of Tigres. So let's break into why Tigres have like um, how Tigres have specialized in creating projects and how it also have created its own mythologies. So as I said before, today we are going to start talking about the social project creation process. Uh, that it's first about the start. In Tigres, we have a methodology called ITSA that we divided into different modules. That first is the idea engine, that is how we can start a project, triple pillar Carter, harvest tracking, discovery chaser, analysis, postmortem. These T, H, S, and A we are going to explain it more in the next session. Today we're going to focus more in the idea engine. Okay. But after this, we have like the methodology that is the roots of all the Tigres projects, that it's called affective way. But what is the affective way? The affective way is a methodology born through Tigres 66, 9 years of empirical experience, as well as from place like Lafnolion, that it's a place that also used this methodology and that explained it to us. And we decided to adapt this model to our projects. Um, the affective way is like an internal question that must be asked when proposing a project. That it's basically, do I really live the problem? Well, I'm going to give you another of my teammates. He's going to introduce himself, and he's going to talk about more of the affective way.
Hi, the video is working. Well, thanks. Well, the counterpart of the effective way. Well, hi. Yes. Hi, my name is Adrian. I'm part of Tigre 6652. I'm a mentor for the outreach area for almost 4 years now, and I have some experience working with projects and other aspects of a team. So the counterpart of the effective way is solutionism. Is the opposite of the effective way in the way that it's a tendency to believe that all problems can be solved through technology or technical solutions. This perspective tends to minimize the complexity of human and social projects. And it's especially important here in FIRST and FRC because since we are in a robotics competition, the tend to believe that all projects should have either a technological or robotics or programming part of it tends to minimize the problem that some or the struggle that the people or your community try to help. First of all, to work with this or to try to minimize this possibility of facing this type of problem, the solutionism is to have a definition of a problem. A problem is a set of events and situations that affect various groups of people and communities in an established environment. We as humans beings are surrounded by and belong to different social groups that face a variety of problems. So maybe when I said this, your mind go directly to my friends, my people, the people that are in my college or in my high school, or the people on my team in certain areas of where I live in, and that's a special aspect of what is a community. Once identifying the problem, we can begin to see which people it affects and in what areas it occurs. After this, we can look at the factors surrounding it, which may be linked to social, economic, cultural, or technological conditions. Um, in these aspects, after giving all of this, after like understand this and having all this process, we can start with questions that makes us understand better the effective way. The first couple of questions can ensure us that what we're trying to solve it's solvable, and what we're trying to check it's not ending up in solutionism, because in Tigres, in these couple of years since we started with accepting more people into the team, we have faced a lot of these type of situations where people tend to give projects or others ideas that in one or other way tend to be solutionism, either by trying to add way too much complexity or way too much electrical, robotics, etc. So first of all, the first question will be, does the problem affect me on a daily basis? These can tend to, maybe the problem that you're facing is that in your area, sometimes it floods. But that sometimes is once a month or maybe once a year. So when the raining season it's on the highest, but that problem may be facing to other people. So you need to check in which variable, how often does this problem happens. In what aspect does it affect me? Mobility, social, inclusivity, equity, and diversity, economics, health, education, environmental, etc. So when sometimes the like maybe in environmental aspects, the community that you are facing, it's not so much of your friends or people like surrounding maybe neurodivergent, LGBTQ, or other communities. So this may happen more to people in a certain area, maybe where you live in, where your high school is located in. Next, are there any precedents that attempt to solve this problem from a project perspective? And if it's so, what aspects of it can I replicate, improve, and remove depending on my situation? Because sometimes when you start doing a project, you have tunnel vision and you start to think that, oh, what I'm giving, what I am trying to solve have never or has it ever been like the same situation to someone? And most of the time it isn't the case. Much of the time people have already seen that problem, seen that how to try to solve it, and from that past projects you can learn what happened, that if it's still on the project, what can you do to learn about it, or if it's not already or not no longer in use or active the project, what happened to it that make them stop, either the economics, something that happened, etc. And last but not least, what action do I want to take to solve it, and what do I need? This is the call to action. In the next session, I think the third one, we're going to see something, the like form to have a call to action, and this relates closely to it. Second, we need a scope and temporality. We are trying to here define it. First of all, scope will specify the limits of the problem. What is the extent of the problem and what aspects are not within the scope? And temporality. We define the period in which the problem manifests itself. It's it current, historical, or recurring. For scope, sometimes as a first team or as an FRC team, we tend to think that we can do all at the same time. We can um, make a thinking that, oh, we can do anything to solve this problem. And we need to be down to earth and think with the people that we have in the team, with the money that we have in the team, with the resources that we have, how much can we in reality solve of the problem? And temporarily, well, which how many months or how many time, depending of the problem, can we give to this project? So just to be sure, there are any questions up to this point? Questions or something? Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Well, even there are a Q&A section at the end of the, I think. Well, I think the team, our team is very special to us to work both the robot and the projects, not not that much of like separate, but also to give each one like its space. Since we are in different areas, the people that are in the team, like we are almost like 120 people in the team. So that many people depends on our areas, yes, and like well, the people that work in robot makes mainly focus on robot, but they aren't like close or anything at all to let other areas to help with the robot. And so are the areas that try to help with the projects or any other aspect of the team. And this, especially the effective way, help us mainly in the project and the FTC and FLL aspects of our team, either to visualize the next steps on already in like already project or into new projects that are trying to be implemented in the team. Um, a little bit, but if it's better, can you repeat it? Yeah. So mostly it's a it's a what is it in well, it's like the concepts and the tools of a specific project. Like it's something that we try to use and we try to implement in every project that we have. Already we have 9 projects. In the 9 projects that we have up to this date, they all try to be implemented with the effective way. And these steps help us like to either each season then renew the affectivity and the work of the project. We tend to still give these questions, like the 4 questions that we set to each project each season to verify and to see that if it's still working. I don't know if I answer your question.
Can I?
Okay. A teammate wants to add something to the answer. So,
Hi, everybody. I sorry. Um, Hi, my name is Valeria. We're gonna meet in a while because I'm also going to be participating in this session at the end. But I think what you were asking is how we apply this methodology and like if we apply it in all the steps of our projects or where, when. Um, the I mean, we have various methodologies in the team, and the thing with these methodologies that we are introducing is that they are based on designing for humans, and that is all of the difference between methodologies such as Six Sigma and others that we use in our engineering area because they are methodologies that are mainly focused on engineering and solving problems based on machines or like electronics or something that people will use, but mostly on focusing on the machine or like they use the like something that is not alive. But when you are focusing or in working with people, you can have the same considerations as you are with a machine. So we that's why we have developed all of these methodologies throughout the years of Tigres. And that's something that my partner is going to explain to you in a little bit. But basically, when you are that's basically it. When you are working and designing for humans, it's important to consider their needs. And these methodologies, we use them like a reference or a model to start working and prototyping towards their needs, and it's for the definition of your idea of your project. But you can use it like some of these methodologies such as ITSA are planned to use them like throughout the different phases of your project, and some of them such as Effective Way are only just like a reference for starting your project, but not like something that you will use throughout the whole project because things can change and stuff. I don't know if I answered your question, but that's what I wanted to add. Thank you.
thank you. Well, is there any other questions? Okay. Well, we can continue. So we ended up with temporality. And next of all, here we can see a representation of what we tend to do and like help to build the project with the effective way. So first of all, you have the approach and questioning where this is where the effective way does its best. It's by having a strong foundation of beliefs and goals secured by the previously mentioned questions, you can be sure that it has a strong root. Second, experimentation and research. The hardest and most important part for this, you need to be in constant contact with the community you are trying to help, receiving constant feedback regarding your ideas. And by the end, you will have a prototype, a plan, or an event. The product of the work, and everything that makes up our project is what gives us to the community and in which way. This last part you will be hearing more in the next part of the session, that is the prototyping culture. But by this, we tend to like show that if you do all the work for having a strong connection or a strong affirmation that your project it's helping someone with the basis, uh, by the end, by all the time that you have given to this project, you will end up you may end up with a prototyping or a plan or an event that doesn't really do its work or what you intend to do. So this is a very important part on the process of developing a project. Next, this like something that we really tend to use either in new projects or in some in projects that we already have by many years. So this is the Descartes method. I don't know if you have seen it on high school or middle school or up to this point, but the essential parts are that first of all, break the problem into smaller parts. What are the specific elements that contributes to the overall problem? It may be something that the people in my community doesn't really know how to like an example, there are many trash around my house or around my high school. And the core aspect is that in reality there are any trash cans or places to put down the trash. So this is a core value or a core aspect of the problem. Next, you will try to find the related causes, though by investigating, either like checking around your community, around the house, your house, the high school, etc. Which parts does it have a trash can or something to put the trash, and see how that relates to overall how many trash is around it. What factors are contributing to the problem? Analyze how it affects the people, processes, or systems involved. What are the consequences of the problem? These can be either that the people around it doesn't really like living there, either because of the smell or the trash around it, or the consequences may then end up like a place where many animals or insects end up and making easy to spread diseases. So this a way to see each project and the problem that tries to solve it, and having a complement to help solve it. Next, we have common problems trying to start a project and defining it. You can't solve a problem that you don't experience in firsthand. And by that, we mean that maybe your project tried to help. Let's say you live in an area around the center of your country when you don't have like in oceans or any water body next to you that close, and you try to start a project that tries to let's clean the oceans or clean a river or a lake, but you in reality don't have a lake or a river or an ocean close to you or near to you. That's something that you wouldn't be able to have feedback of the project that you are trying to solve, and you wouldn't have a constant to see if the project is working. Next, it is important to know that to provide a correct understanding of the target community, empathy is clearly the first step. By that, we mean that when you try to have a community or a part of the community that you're trying to solve or to help, you should not like give any well not should not well I'm trying to try a project, and the community that I am trying to help, I don't speak with them in any form or shape. That is a clearly mistake. So you should be trying to connect with the people with the community that you're trying to help. Next, this becomes null if we don't understand the problem almost firsthand, running the risk of providing solution-based prototypes that do not solve the problem from the correct perspective. Disconnect both the what I've said, and I think a great example for it will be like, oh yeah, the project that tries to clean oceans. I have a prototype that just burns the trash into the ocean again, generating the same amount, even more trash. So you can see by not having or by not starting or following this just previous like not rules but advices, you will end up with a bad or not bad, but a prototype that doesn't really work that well. Next is defining the idea.
Well, as we say at the first in the session, we have a methodology called ITSA. It's like a different process that you can go through your project. And first, when you are having like your idea, you have like different considerations. One of them is the affective way that we saw before, and also this document that we designed. The tool is called Idea Engine, that it's basically using the empathy and the analysis to find a project that matters. And the step one to use this document is to look around you. Like in every corner of the world, there is an opportunity, a problem to be solved, or someone to help. So you need to look around of you. What's going on around of you? And you just have to pay attention and use your imagination to see what others do not. And also, start with yourself. You can begin by looking for things that you consider a personal problem, as it's likely that others share the same problem. And also, a task is that you need to list all the problems you see: social inequality, ecology, health. It's very important that the problems really affect you, because if a problem don't affect me, why I should have like a project of trying to solve that problem? Because if one error happen in my project, I will say, well, that's okay, because the problem don't affect me in a real way. So, but what happens if the problem really affect me? I don't know. Let's take an example of ecology. Okay, for near my home, there's like a lot of trash. So, what happened if I start a project of clean trash, and I decide to don't follow the project? Well, the trash will be still there. So, as the trash is still there, I will say, okay, this problem still affect me. So I will have the like necessity, if you can see like that, to still implementing the project. But if I live in a zone where there's any trash and I try to implement a project related to trash, if I decide to don't continue the project and there is no trash near of me, I will say, okay, there's nothing that affect me, and so there's no like pressure to continue this project. So that's why there's really important that the problem really affects you. And the step number two is the brainstorm solution, the possible solutions. The most important thing is to contribute to the cause. So don't think that your idea is not very big, or that don't I don't know solution all the problem in all the country. No, that's not like the really need of a project. The important thing is, as I've said before, to contribute to the cause in any way. Uh, so you need to write down everything that comes to your mind. Mix them, separate them. Don't be afraid to propose your ideas. Every idea is important. So as more solutions you have, more material to shape the final idea you will have also. So this is very important to say all the things that come to your mind, so you can at the final have like a very structure of what could be your final idea. And also is to analyze the viability. So when you have your possible solutions, now what you need to do is that for each idea, you must list the resources that you will need to carry out. So what happens if I decide to propose, I don't know, bring food to a lot of places? So what I need to bring food to places away from my home. I need transportation. I need money. I need like a lot of things that probably to start will be very difficult at the start. Yes. But what happened if I decide to make a project related to social media? The resources that I need is just like my cell phone, and probably that's it. So in that way, you can see that which solutions can be done in an easy way. That a solution is not very viable at the first is not synonymous that it's not a good idea. It's that probably in that moment you don't have the resources to implement it. So as you can see here, you can make like a little chart of where you have like your possible solution, the resources, and your summary of the viability of this idea. Okay. And the step number four is the final choice. Finally, you need to choose the solution that best fits what your team truly wants and is able to do. As I said before, probably you have like a big idea, but the resources that you have in that moment are not like enough to implement the idea. So probably at first you need to try to come up with another idea or with another solution that could be more fitable to your team. This is the I have the link to the document, but probably I will send you later so you can check it out. All these tools that we will explain to you have like a document where you can just fill out when with your ideas and with everything that comes to your mind. So it makes it very easier to follow. So probably later I will share it to you. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, so let's go. Okay, so the next topic is the prototyping culture. I'm going to present to you another teammate.
Hello everyone, I'm Israel Perez and I will explain about the prototyping culture. And I'm a member of the team of Tigres 6652 and I will explain why is that important for make a lot of projects. And first for all, I will need to explain something about culture because a lot of people thinks the culture it's only the literacy, the dancing, the some customers that involves a social group, but it's not only that thing. It involves the lifestyle value system and the things that they believes, and that is so important because it will make and that will introduce how can we introduce a good prototype, and that's why we need to understand why is the effective way it's so important because main the main idea of the definition of a prototype is the form that you present to someone and the form that you present to the world your idea, the form to you will help the world on you can help your own community. And that's why I want to introduce the images because the prototype is the form to present to another people what I think and or what type of project can we help my community. And that's why the effective way is so important because that's examples for example this RAM it's a really big mistake if you don't understand the effective way because for example in this case of the chairs for example it's a problem if we treats the problems that we wanna solve like an engineering problem and not a social problem, for example, because we're humans and we have a lot of nuances of our daily life, daily routine, what we do in our daily life. For example, these chairs, because they're useful and you will make a useful prototype if we understand this one. And that's why the prototype it's need to make by a human design because especially for the social projects, the main idea is focus on the people, your own community. And if we don't understand, we make a useless prototype, useless talk, and something that you can use for help your own community. And that's why you need to understand the culture to improve the development of your prototype. And I would say a lot the importance of understand the people and your community, because that's the form to you do the people who you can help follow you. And that's why it's a culture, because the culture is the beliefs and the daily basics of something that you do, because it's not only a process with the same steps in all the time. It's more like a philosophy, a mindset focus for make a prototype, because involves a lot of experimentation to understand the nuances that of the people you want to help. And for that, and if you wanna follow that idea, that philosophy, you need to development a prototype with your own teammates and share today how can they share the ideas, make mistakes, and lost the fear for making mistakes on the development, on their perspectives, or and share this progress to another persons on their or their our community, even when it is incomplete or they needs to improve more. And we need to build this together. Now, if we understand the effective way, the philosophy of making a prototype, we need to empathize of first of all, if we have a lot of that, we are ready to make a prototype. And the simple idea is that steps. For example, it's empathize with the problematic, define a design, make ideas, and and prototyping and evaluate the idea. Is this idea functional for my own community, for the people? And that's why that process, the affective way and the prototyping culture is an iterative process. It's not only a linear methodology, it's because it's a it's some process that involves all nuances of all teammates and all perspectives that of the people we want to try to help. It's not only process that you follow step by step in all situations. And the essence of that prototypes is encourage the citizen science and collective intelligence and use the resource we have. Use the things that we have to make a solution to a problem for, and that's the same idea for the effective way, because it's not a perfect solution, but it's a functional solution for the people. And when I introduce something to you, and is that phrase, and is the if the step isn't small enough for you to take right now, then you're not thinking of a step that's small enough. And now, someone has a question for that? Excuse, excuse me, can you?
Yes, we have all the documents, and we will share you probably at the end of the sessions. I will share it to Gary, and probably he can share it to you in an easier way. Yes, of course. At the end of the session, we share like the presentation and also the documents that we mentioned in these sessions. Um, um, yes.
Excuse me.
Well,
Tenemos un que se llama Tigres, que está basado en Siglo, que fue una adaptación de esa tecnología con la colaboración de ingenieros de Whirlpool que llegaron a ser nuestros propios una extensión y ahora no lo usamos como tal, ¿sí? Sí, usamos como marco de referencia.
Okay.
Porque
Well, yes, actually we use Six Sigma, but in the social projects and not at all. We use the Six Sigma method to the basis of that to make it in a new methodologies that are like right now using for projects. I think Six Sigma they are using more for the engineering process that we also don't call it Six Sigma. We call like Tigres development a robot that it's like another methodology specified to the robot and not for projects. We try to like separate the methodologies of robot to the methodologies of social projects. I don't know if I answered to your question. Okay, thank you. You probably are wondering of how we can use all our methodologies or how these can be seen in our team. I will present you again this and this methodology that probably is one of the biggest of the team is where we unify all the methodologies of Tigres and provide like a product for our community and also for our team, and it's called the Hackathon.
hi everybody. Hello once again. I am Valeria. I am also a mentor from the team. Like Adrian, I have almost 4 years in the team. I used to be in the part of sustainability, like all the sponsorships and money related things, and now I transitioned to the outreach part, and I have seen the growth of the team in these 4 years, mostly on the outreach part. And I think it's because in this process of growing, it's because I think we started listening more to our community and their needs, and it all starts on how we implement new initiatives to our team, like projects, events, documentations, or things in general. Like how do we start? And it's all a mix between the FRC competition and the open culture that's a movement here. Well, not here, it's a movement worldwide, but well, I'm gonna start because I'm gonna confuse myself if I don't start. But I mean, Hackaroar. Hackaroar is the process where we recruit new members to Tigres, and it's based on different stages. First is like well, two stages. First, we have a process of capacitations. We have the people who are applying to be in our team. Like every year, we have about 100 to 150 new persons who want to be part of the roar, and I mean to Tigres. And we unfortunately we can't accept them all because it would be like 1,000 people team by now, and that would be impossible to control. and it will be, extremely big team. So how do we manage the situation and to know which people are do actually care about what the team does and about the community and about actually making an impact through robotics and through first. And that's why we came up with this process. um, the first stage of Hackaroar is reuniting all of the aspirants in our school. Actually, we are not in our school right now. I don't know if Julio said at the beginning, but we are the representative team of UNL, which is the public university here in Monterrey, the public state university here in Monterrey. And today actually is like the admission exam, so we can't be there because there's a lot of people there. And that's why we came to Lab Nuevo León, Laboratorio Nuevo León, which is a place here in downtown in the center of our town. And it's a place focused on open culture and just doing social projects based on citizens. And you can look it up on Google or anything you want. It's like that, Lab Nuevo León, LAB, and you can search it up like LAVNL, or maybe I can put it in the YouTube chat in a little bit. But it's important that I mention that we are in Lab Nuevo León because actually all of these methodologies that we have implemented in Tigres in these past years come from a lot of concepts that they have here at Lab Nuevo León, and they have helped us grow a lot. And one of the things that they helped us with is introducing people to social outreach in general, because we realized that we as Tigres had much experience when it came to, making events and projects and stuff, but we didn't know how to share it or how to make people actually understand and have growth with their own initiatives, like understand how much important it is for you to care about your community. Uh, And so yeah, our best way to introduce people to the project, to the social projects of the team, is Hackaver. And okay, so how does it work? Over a period of 5 weeks, we receive, a lot of applicants, and they are assigned to different teams. All of these teams, they are always from 15 to 12 teams. All of these teams have different mentors that are like mentors of the team, or participants from the team who are veteran and who can share their experiences and their knowledge that they have learned throughout the Tigres years. And they share it with the teams, and they have like this one by one follow up, all of the teams and all of the aspirants. But every Saturday we reunite all of the aspirants, and we have like mentoring sessions with all of the people. And we used C topics like outreach, engineering first, all of the areas that the team divides in, that are communication, business, outreach, engineering, and education. We share topics, and we share the information and knowledge that we have developed over 10 years. So all of this knowledge that they are receiving, they can apply it in the creation of a new social project that they create. Um, I mean, we don't ask them to actually, um, you know, like use or like to implement. We don't ask them to implement the project, but only to have it conceptually. And based on all of these ideas that they use and that they define based on the knowledge that we share and based on the methodologies that we share, we qualify, like we make like well, okay, that's the first stage, no, like the capacitation part, where all of the aspirants are capacitated, and that they receive knowledge and all of that. And we also have workshops and all of that process. So the second part, once the people have defined what they want to do in their social projects, is that we do like the hackathon as it is. What is hackathon? It's an event of 2 days, and it is mixed with the FRC competition and with the social projects. It's basically a social project competition, and all of the teams are we we always ask for an space, and all of the teams are divided into different pits, and the judges are people from our team, like the most veteran ones, or like also people like extern people, like people from the sponsors, or people who are experts in what like in one of the different areas of the team. Sometimes we have had people from AMI, which is a sponsor, qualify the engineering process of the projects. Or maybe we have invited people from John Deere, but from the human resources part, to evaluate the effective way part of the project. And so yes. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's basically it, I think. Yes, we can finish, and I think we can give like a 10-15 minute break, so you can move as you want, and then we can continue with the session. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Like the age. Okay. Most of the people in the team are from 14 to 17 years that they are the participants. And they are, if we say a number, let's say like 60, 70. Yes, 60, 70. And the rest of us are mentors, collaborators, assessors, and that we have ages from 18 to, like, the oldest person in the team is like 22. So this is a student for student teams, a student for students and by students. And we always, there's a people from the first generation that still come to the team and that they are actually working right now. They have started their laboral journey, like they are now in the working force, and we keep in contact so our team can be sustainable, because people are always rotating every year. So yeah. Yeah, the oldest mentor in the team right now, I think it's like, ¿quién es el? Wait, Canela, ¿no? Yeah, our head coach. We have two head coaches, or one. Our first head coach is called Canela. She's 22, and our second coach, it's called Emmanuel, and he's 20. And that's, yeah. I thi- last year, the oldest mentor, he didn't continue in the team this year, but he was 25, I think. So in the team we have a lot of rotating people. So how we maintain this knowledge in the team is that we keep in contact and create community. Yes. Yeah. Can we take? Edson, can we take a break and continue in like two ten to two ten to 10 two with 10 minutes? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Uh, can you see right? Okay. Uh, okay. Wait, there's like an ambulance. Can you hear the ambulance? Um, no, no, nothing. Sorry. Yes. Okay, okay. Uh, wait, let me check why this is not working. Yeah, I'm in PDF. Like in the last one, it also was PDF, but um, I think it should work because in the last session it also was PDF and it worked. But let me check something first. I will stop sharing so I can check it. Just give me a second. No, it's working, right? Okay. Hi. I don't know if there's the same people or if it changed, but I'm going to introduce myself again. I'm Julio. I'm currently a participant. I'm the leader of the Orange area of my team, Tier 6652. We are from Mexico, from the city of Monterrey, and we represent our public university here also in Monterrey. In the last session, we saw like how to start the idea of a project. The methodologies that works for a startup project, the methodologies that help you to create your idea. But now we're going to see what's next after you have your idea. Uh, Also, in the last session, I was talking about a methodology that we created called ITSA. It's very helpful because it gives you the structure to follow in the all the steps that you will take in your project. You have how to start your project, how to manage the activities, the sponsors. You have like all that you need for a startup project. In the last session, we saw a little bit about the idea engine. That it's basically you look what's around you, and on base of that, you can come up with a problem and ideas to solve that problem. But now we are going to talk about the planning. In the planning, we have two main pillars, the major and the minor. In the major, we have the concept, the budget, and the time. In the minors, we have the risk analysis, the communication, and the documentations. About the concept, when you have a project, you also need to have what's your project, like conceptually, what's your project. You need to ask yourself these next questions. What will we do? Why? How? Who? And where? Something very useful when you are come up with the concept of your project is the 5 why methodology that basically give you the root of any. That, as you can see in this example that I have here, the problem is that you run through a red light. Why? Because you were late for work. Why? Because you woke up late. Why? Because the alarm didn't work and so on. So you can get the root cause. In that way, you can make that your concept very clear, and also that is the root of all of your projects. This is very important, okay? And also we have the time. Uh, in time, we include like every time related aspect of your project activities, when you're going to start your project, when will end, when those activities will begin, how long will it last, and when should we do each things. And when we are talking about time, in Tigres, we use different ways to organize. One of them is the Gantt chart. Probably a lot of you know this chart. It's very useful because you can have the weeks and also the tasks, so you can have the periods of when you're going to start working and when you should last working. And this is very useful in every project, because something that happens too often is that you have your project, but you don't state your time. So you probably have a very good idea, but if you don't specify your times where you can make each things, you can last like months and months just waiting for this one thing. So it's very useful when you need to start with your project and to make it like very faster to start. So it's very useful, the Gantt chart. Also, the budget, it's like all the financial aspect of our project. How much money do we need? Where do we get it? How do we generate income? Will we have sponsors? Will we make sales? And if the budget is like very important, because many of the projects needs money for any type of tax, probably transportation, probably materials like papers, pencils, like a lot of things that you can need for the project. Well, you need money. Uh, as you can see here, we have like a chart that we made that is part of the document called Triple Pillar Charter. This document includes also the concept, the time, and the budget. It's part of the ITA methodology, and you can use it to come up with these three pillars that I mentioned before. Well, this is the document. As I said before, I will share with you like all the documents of Tigres, so you can use them for your projects, and you can, well, yeah, use it in an efficient way, because all the projects that we make in Tigres, first we need to write down everything in these documents. So after that, we actually can start working on the project. And also, something very important on the projects, probably the most important thing for me, is the communication strategy. Sometimes happens that in the first week, everyone have the initiative to work, no? Because yeah, the idea is very amazing, because you have the initiative, the motivation. But when the weeks are uh, after some weeks, probably the team will stop having the same motivation at the first. So before this happen, it's very important to have the communication strategies. We use different methods: Zoom, Google Meet, Discord, and the Letouche Meet. The Letouche, it's a way where the integrants can provide their schedule. So automatically it gives you the time where everyone is like available, and in that way you can have like the meetings in that specific date. This is like open source that you can find out in Google. Just type this, the Letouche Meet, and it's very useful when you have like a big group of people and you need to decide a specific date to make the meetings. Well, before continuing, someone have some question about the triple pillar charter, or is everything okay? It's everything okay? Ah, okay, okay. Um, well, in the last session we also mentioned the Descartes method. This method is very useful when you have a big problem that you don't know how to deal with it. And it helps you to break the big problem into smaller ones. In this way, you can know which kind of problem you can attack, because sometimes attack a big problem is like almost impossible because it have like a lot of consequences, and yeah, it's like very hard to focus in the big problem. So what is easy is to have the specific problems that you can break down of the big one, and you can focus on one of those small problems. Um, yeah, this is like a method very useful for the projects in general and also for the ideas. Some problems, well, no. Yeah, some common problems that happen when you're trying to start a project, it's that you can solve a problem that you don't experience firsthand. This is very important that also we mentioned in the last session, because what happens if I want to try to solve a problem in the oceans, but I don't live near of any oceans? So like, how can I make something if I don't even I'm related to that specific problem? So you really need to try to focus in a problem that really affects you, because if it doesn't affect you, you won't have the motivation to make a last long project just to solve a problem that don't really affect you. But what happens when it really affects you? When the problem affects you, you will really have the motivations to try to change the situation. I was saying like in the last session also that an example of this is if I want to try to make a project related to the public trash that is in like some zones. Like if I live in a zone when there is like a lot of trash near of my house, um, probably I will have like the motivation to start the project to change the situation because I'm living the situation. But what happens if I don't live that specific situation? If I want to make a project related to trash and I live in a zone when there's like any trash of any type, why I should have the motivation to try to solve it if I don't even are affected by that? So like it's very important to try to focus on a project, sorry, in a problem that affects you. Something also very important, it's after you have like your idea, your concept, the time where you're going to make like every activity, and also the way that you are going to get the money, it's, well, the execution, how I start the project, basically. And also in this part of the execution, it's important to remember the prototyping culture. And a prototype is an experimental way to present your idea. There's like many type of prototypes that you can have. In Tigres, we have different types of prototypes. We have mechanisms. We have a project called TerraPlate that focuses on the um, musculoskeletal disables, in which we print modules that helps the people to improve the quality of their lives when they broke their arms. They don't have like the money to explaining the doctor or to going to visit a specialist. You can have like this mechanism to help you improve these musculoskeletal disorders. Also, you can have events as prototypes. We have a project called Sustain It Up that basically makes a lot of type of events. So a prototype is not only something physical. You can also have as this it's not something physical. Sorry, you can have like mechanism, events, and also methodologies. EduTrack, it's a project that we designed, and we created a classroom made from 100% recycled materials. And in that classroom, now we make STEM classes for children from low resources, and yeah, this project have like two different prototypes. That one is the big building of 100% recycled materials, and the other one is that the classes that we make in that specific building. So, and also this is like not from Tigres, but there are some other examples. The furniture, there's like a project here that's called Right to Play that focus on making like literally parks and designed for the children. So the prototypes is literally furniture. Like I think it's like a very amazing project. I really like it. And also, you can well, here in Mexico is very common to play something called loteria. I don't know if you know what's about, but it's kind of a table game. So like this type of events also are can be prototypes. So what I want to try to what I'm trying to say with this specific slide is that your prototype don't have to be something physical. You can have many different type of prototypes, and if that prototype is your project, it's okay. You don't need to have like something very amazing, something very detailed, or something like bigger, or yeah, like it doesn't matter that it what it really matters is that it works and it gives you the idea of your final product. Is there any questions so far? Okay. Uh, so well, once you have the idea of your projects and also the prototype, what's next is the monitoring. So for the monitoring, we have three different things. That is the clear objectives, the documentation, and the evaluation. The monitoring is when you are already like implementing your projects, okay? For the constant monitoring, we have something called harvest tracking. And what is it? It's basically a label document for active project monitoring. And its purpose is to break down complex projects to track real-time progress and proactively manage challenges. And it works basically with the project overview, that is basically a brief summary of the project's current status, and it also includes successes and opportunities. Also, it has like the activities, like the main phases, the milestones, and also the objectives of the project and the tasks. The tasks are the ones that you need to reach to make your activities. I like the small things that you need to do. There, well, as I said before, there are the specific steps required to complete like each activity. And I have separated the steps to explain more to you. This is the harvest tracking is a document that also is part of the methodology of Tigres. That it's called ITSA. that is the one that I was like talking all the presentation. As I said before, the step one is about tracking activities. For each main activity, we track the person in charge, the start date, and the end date. Also, the status of if it's completed or incompleted, and also the percentage of progress. For the step two, the tracking task, we have like each activity is broken down into task, and for each task, we track the task name and also the status, if it's completed or not, and also the percentage of progress. And something that we add here is the challenges and the overcoming plans. When you are having your activities, you need to realize that probably something can go wrong, and you need to have like these overcoming plans to don't go into a higher problem. Okay. And for the step number three, we have the managing challenges. And for every challenge, we define the challenge, like what is the problem, and the overcoming plan. What will we do to fix or avoid it? And also, after we manage the challenge itself, we need to state if it was successful, and if our work, if it's our plan work, and why yes and why not. Also, like as I said before, all these documents I will send you to Gary to send you to you guys, so everyone can see it and can use it. And why we use these tools? Basically, it creates accountability. Who is in charge, and also record for monitoring. It's very important to establish who is in charge because it forces the proactive. Uh, when the people knows that have like a task designed for that specific person, he tends to make it. Because if we just say like, who wants to make this activity? Probably no one will say like me, or probably yes, but he will forget about it. So it's very important to establish who is going to make the work. And also, this document helps us to turn the big project into small manageable tasks. As I said you before, this document help you to make the activities and also the tasks that will help you to um, provide like the structure of the project for a long time. And also, it gives us a real-time progress tracking, like the way that in Tigres we use this document is that each week we are checking the progress of each task, and if it happened 2 weeks and the progress was uh, like very low, we ask to the in charge person why it's going to be like too slow the progress. So in that way, we can monitor the progress of each task, and also we can prevent to have like a lot of work accumulated at the end of the day. So it's very useful to make that everything is going at the time that it should be, and in this way the project is like very well structured. Okay, something also like very important when you're are developing your project is the art of documentation. Like if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Because probably I can say, yes, I implemented this project for many hours and I help this quantity of children. But if I don't have the documentation or the evidences, how can I prove it, you know? So it's very important, the documentation. So for the documentation, we also have like a specific document that we call the scope register. And in this, you must create a record of all the activities, like the team meetings, the every community event, every outreach activity, workshop, presentations. And in this way, you can have like everything with a clear structure of what you have done in your in all the year. And also, like when you are documenting, it's very important to have probably a OneDrive or Megafire or something that helps you to storage in an efficient way. Uh, so try to have very everything well structured, like every photo, every registration, and like everything. So in that way, when you are making probably your impact, your speech, or like other type of things, you can have it at hand. So it make you like everything way easier in the future. So, I was saying you before, we also make a methodology that is called Scoverigizer, that is part of the ITSA. And it's a document where we can, well, it's a simple one-page report to capture like the essential data from every single activity. And we use it to standardize our data collection and ensure to get the exact metrics needed for like our impact essays or for our videos or for our Instagram publications or for like all of our stuff. And we use it uh, when we use this document, you need to find out like immediately after every event, because if you wait probably 1 week or 2 days, you will probably forget some information. So if it's like immediately after the event, you can have like all the ideas recently, and in that way you can register like everything clear. So the structure of the document is first define, like the who, what, where, and when. Like define the event, define the project, define the workshop, define any type of event that you made, and also try to assign like an ID, a unique number to the event. In that way, you can know that the number 5 is specific for this event, or for this STEAM workshop, or for this of I don't know something else. And also, very important, obviously, is the date, like the date or time period of the activity. If it's a probably a event of hours, you need to put the hours that you spent on that meeting. Or if it's like a project where you go to schools, you need to make for each day that you go to the school one page of the Discoverigizer. Okay. And the description, that is basically a summary of the project context, the objective, the location, the team, etc. And also like the data that you need to write down in the document is the number of attendees, like the total of or approximate number of participants. Also like a breakdown that specify the type of attendance, like students, children, seniors, teachers, like any type of attendance, and also like the quantity of the attendance. As I said before, the time dedicated to the session. In this way, you need to put not only the time that you spend doing the activity, but also the time that you spend planning the activity, because it's also very important to notice how many time you spend in before the event, planning, having meetings with your team, having like a lot of stuff. So it's very important to establish all the time dedicated. And also like the collectibles, this proof or physical impact. And also an example of this is like the kilograms of trash collected, the number of trees planted, the boxes of clothes donated, etc. It's any questions so far? Okay. Discovery Geyser, well, the document that I was telling you before looks something like this. This is like a real example of what we've done with this document. This is for a project called Nextech, where we go to a community center and we import some STEAM classes. As you can see here, there is the ID of the session that we decide to put the number 5, the date, the number of attendance, uh, uh, the summary, and the time spent, and also something very important is the evidence that we decide to use the photographies. Uh, Also very important when you're taking photos is try that the faces of the people don't uh, appear in the photo because well here in Mexico there you can have like a legal uh, problems if you publish like a photo of someone and it didn't give you like the permission of that. You can obviously take photos of the faces, but if you have the permission of the person. Uh-huh. Also, this document we will send you to you. It doesn't have like the colors and the logo of Tigres. It's just like black and white, and also in Spanish. But you can just translate it, and it will be like very useful for you. And once you have like your projects and everything is going well, there's also like the possibility that your project fail or you decide to stop the project or you decide to make another project and your another project stops or for some reason. And we also try to analyze this and we call the post-mortem analysis. Um, and the project may be over, but the learning has just begun. And in this analysis, uh, well, what is it? Is where we analyze a completed project to learn from our successes and our failures. And the philosophy is that a true error is only one that is committed a second time. I already know to resolve it, the rest is just a learning process. And in this way, probably you are really probably disappointed, you can say like this, if a project fail, but you can also learn a lot of a project that failed and in the future make something better. And for this, we have a document that in the first step is that we need to be very objective, like very rude with us. And in this way, we can really know what we have done correct and what we have done in a bad way. The first thing is the social results, the people that you impacted, the places helped, the audience reached, also the material results, like the items donated, collated, or built, and also the temporary results, total hours invested, the economic results, the fund raised or used. And first, before the analysis, you need to establish the results of your project. And after that, you have to analyze what happened. First, you need to analyze what went well. List the key decisions or events that led to a good outcome, even if they weren't planned, because sometimes there are things that are not planned, but for some reason it helped the project. So also those things you need to list it, and also you need to analyze what went wrong. As the same as the things that went well, you need to list the key decisions or events that led to an unfavorable outcome. And in the step 3 is to ask why and how. This is the most important part of the analysis because for the good areas, you need to ask why did it go well and how can we preserve it? And what action must we repeat? In this way, you can know when you decide to make another project, which kind of things help you in the last one, so you can implement it again, and it will also help you. And also, you need to analyze like for the bad areas, like why did it go wrong, and how can we improve it, and what new actions must we take or avoid. And also, as the same example of the good areas, if in the last project you made some mistakes, like the communication failed, probably also the money you didn't get enough money. Those decisions or events you need to analyze it and why did it go wrong. and also how can we improve it. And the last step is the future actions. Once that you have understand the things that you did well and the things that you did wrong, you can decide what you can do in the future. And based in your analysis, you decide what do we continue, what do we continue, which projects or phases were successful and will be repeated, and what independent improvement can we add? What new innovative ideas, value added, can we include next time? So in this way, the next project that you make won't have the same errors as the last project, but will have like the improvement and the knowledge of your last project. So I think this analysis is very useful once that you even though that you still have the project, you can use it just to know like which things you are doing well and which things you are doing bad. This analysis we use it at the end of all season to check the things that we did. Also, we have a document for this. As I said you before, I will share it with you. And yes, there's like questions or something. Nope. Uh, well, there's like 10 minutes left, right? Oh, no, it's not very long, the last presentation, so probably we can say like uh, a higher rest, probably again 10 minutes. I don't know. Uh, so in that way, yes, yes, then after. 3:10, it's okay for me. I will send you like the documents and that we present in this session, so you can share with all of the presents. Okay. Okay. So I will send you the documents as soon as I can. Thank you.
Okay. No, sorry. Okay, and the session number three, we are going to see, well, first of all, my name is Jessica. I am a student of the team of Team 6652 of Tigres. I have 1 year because my first like season was the last one, and I am really happy. And I'm going to talk about mastering your impact narrative. Okay, so first I'm going to present you the impact design techniques that Tigres use. Okay, this is so important. The 10. Okay, what do I mean with that? For example, our team used this like 10 during the narrative of the impact. For example, it could be about the space or something that you think that represents your team, and it's a useful tool for transmitting like emotions to other people to be like your speech moving. And also it's easier for the judges to remember your team. It like gives you like a identity and the opportunity for connections with the team and with the judges. It's make more easy understand why your ideas are important. This year we use the gem of the space, and we try to like do comparatives between like center space with our teams, or like persons to represent like a star or things like that. You can say like, wow, this team is using something that it's easy to understand and we can connect with that. So the other thing is the golden circle that my team is going to present. Yeah.
Okay, so just a brief interview on, well, mm, just a brief thing, saying what the golden circle is. I think this is the main structure that we use when we talk in any scenario in the team. We have used this in a sponsor in sponsors meeting, and we have closed deals with these structures. We use it in the impact. Obviously, we use it in the impact. We use it in the pit. We use it everywhere, and this has functioned to us. And okay, so this is a methodology. Well, not a methodology, but like a structure that I don't remember the name of the person who broke this down. But what is the golden circle? So it consists on three main things that you have to mention when you are giving a speech. So the first one is why. So let's say that you are selling, I don't know, ¿qué? Algo, dime algo random. ¿De qué? ¿De qué? Algo, algún objeto. Eh, an apple. So let's say that you're selling apples. So probably the person who comes to you, and so it's I don't know if it's normal there, but here in Mexico, in our university and in Mexico in general, it's really common that someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I am selling, I don't know, gummies. Do you want?" And so in those kind of scenarios, it's not necessary to give like an speech to convince someone to buy you, because if they will buy you, they will. If they don't, they won't. But it's important that when you are trying to convince someone, especially when trying to convince, to use this structure, and you start with the why. So in this case, if you're selling an apple, let's say you say like, why will somebody want an apple, or why do I see important that people consume apples? And it's like, hey friend, I think, or did you know, like you always start with something that engages the person who is listening to you. It can be a fact, it can be a number. Did you know that 50% of the people that consume apples are actually more probable to live longer than the people who don't? Like, I don't know, I'm inventing things, but yeah, something like that. Like, why do you think it's important that people follow you up? Not like in this moment, you are not trying to make people convinced on what you're saying in this point. It's just like, why is it important that you follow up on what I'm saying? So in this case, when we introduce the team, why did my initiative started? Why, or maybe in a project in general, why did my initiative start? Why is the problem that I am attacking important? Like, why is hunger important? Why, or maybe in those kind of in those kind of problematics like hunger, or I don't know, starvation, droughts, or some, like they are very big problems that we all know, um, why it's important to attack these kind of problems. So maybe not focus on why it's important, but how, like, why it's important in your context. Because sometimes a problem that I'm living, it's not a problem for somebody else. For example, here in Mexico, we're in our state, we live a big, terrible drought like 2 3 years ago, and we did a project related to it. And when we used to present it in competitions, we had to make a lot of emphasis on why it was important, because, internationally, and when you're talking to a person, like obviously, why it's important that people don't have water, but they didn't know how impacted us in our context. So that is why you have to be really punctual on how it affected you, or why are you attacking this specific problem. And so yeah, in well, the second thing in the golden circle, it's how. So you have your problematic. Let's say in this case is that in the apple situation, it's like, okay, I think it's important that people consume apples because they have a lot of nutrients, and when people don't eat apples, they go bad and they release methane in the atmosphere, and it contamines our planet, and I don't know. So that's why, like, that's the value you see in that problem. So how are you um making that problem go away? In this case, you are trying to convince people to eat apples, but in other case, I don't know, you maybe did a ferment based on apples, or you did a project based on apples, or you did a new material based on apples, or I don't know. So this part, the how, here you explain what your initiative consists in. Yeah, how you work, how you operate, how many impacted people have you had, what are your objectives. Okay, and that's it. Okay, and now the next part is the what. So like the call to action. This is like a very, I wouldn't say like the biggest or the most important part of this structure, but it is really important that you know what you are selling. So in this case, or your call to action. So in this case, in the Apple case, I am I am making people eat apples. So that's my call to action. And maybe I can call them as, so eat apples, because if you eat apples, you are contributing to a more sustainable future. And that is your call to action. So at the end of the day, what I want you to keep as my viewer is that you should eat apples, because I am uh, I am a person who is aware of the challenges of sustainability, and I want to contribute to sustainability, and I will do so eating apples. So, I don't, okay, so I know what, okay, so that's your call to action. And we use here in the team, and probably Jessica will explain much further in it, but when we are presenting impact, we keep repeating our call to action throughout our whole structure, or throughout our whole speech, because that's what we want the judges um, to remember at the end of the presentation. In this year, we use the, ¿qué fuimos? What was our, ¿qué temática fuimos este año? Space. So this year, our call to action was that we were, or that we are, the
Items from the space.
or ¿cómo? Agents?
or space agents,
Space agents?
and we solve like the problems of the planets.
Okay, so this year our call to action was that we are the space agents and we solve the problems of the planets or the galaxy, and it's a metaphor on how we are change makers in our community and how we solve problems in our community. And so yeah, the three parts, the why, how, and what, you can give them at any, let's say, any sequence. You can say first the why, then the how, then the what, or the what, how, and why, or the how, why, what. It's up to you. But the most used sequence in our team, it's why, how, and what. And we explain a lot in the why. So we want the person who is hearing us to be able to understand why it's such an important problem to us. Then the how is like um, how did we solve this problem? How are we contributing to this problem? And then the what, and it depends on the context. Maybe if it's in a impact award presentation, you want the judge to see the value of your project. If it's in a business meeting, you want the person to support monetary your project. So it depends. The call to action depends on what the context of the conversation is. But we recommend to be a lot why, more or less how, and little what. And that's it. I don't know if anyone has any question related to this the golden circle or anything related to what Jessica said. Okay.
Well, I can like let me continue. This is so important, the synergy and the punchlines. Well, I'm gonna do first the focus on the punchlines, what they are worth. You need to highlight the most important sentence, like important facts, like the key objectives or your project, and how we can do it with punchlines. So they are like phrases that catch the attention of the judges. Um, I mean, for example, this year we won the Impact Award in the regional of Kansas City, like something that we use when we present the impact was the phrase like when we present the our project that is called CAMO, that it's recognized for transforming air into water. We said that and do a lot of emphasis on that. And actually, I can read that part that it's like let me tell you like that specifically part. Like for example, at the end of that speech, like we present as a planet the problematic that is called dry planet, and we tell the context, and at the end we say for transforming air into water. And you need to do a lot of focus on that because the judges are going to catch the idea that catch how important is it and how you help the community, and that's so important. And actually, the synergy it can be with the punchlines because the synergy it's also helped you a lot to transmit that your team knows and feel like they feel less as a team, feel the identity that have the team. And this year I was one that told the impact to the judges with two mates, and in some cases we like use like specific phrases that we say at the same time, and it shows that you have synergy, that you really felt your team. And we only, for example, at the end everyone says like we are Tigres 6652. And then one continues with another phrase, and other continues with another phrase, that it makes you like wake up and catch the attention of the others. And that is so important to do it. And we use this during the whole presentations in the most important things that we want to highlight. And maybe where and why it's important that it's because when you're like telling a speech, maybe it's going to be a little bit bored if you tell all the information only like facts and that's it. But if you tell and transmit that with that punch, it can help you a lot to if a judge is like only taking notes, then in that moment that you say that punch is going to see you and say what is talking about. Oh my God, I feel impressed about that. I feel amazed for that. And that's so important because we think that it's important to presenting the impact. And okay, and related to that, the impact presentations techniques. Sorry. Um, okay. Before the before the presentations, we need to do like rounding and mapping about map sessions to know the skill set, passion for the team, and commitment of each individual who wants to participate. And and for this, we do auditions because we are a big team. So not everyone can be in the impact room, unfortunately. And the impact team can change, and we form the best like the best mix. For example, this year I think that I am persons that can feel everything and can transmit that feeling. And I have another mate that is so good, like remember the most important facts and can tell you, and you say, wow, he know what he's talking about. And well, I have another teammate that have more experience. So if the this is going to ask something, I know that he is going to answer everything fine. So you need to create the team and they need to be like a complement to other. And that's so important during the auditions because maybe everyone it's good like speaking. Everyone can have that ability, that skill, but you need to check if they really can match together and they can represent their team. So this is our impact team. You can see me at the forum. And the synergy between the impact team is key, as I say, and the impact team should be people actively involved in the team because the judges obviously are going to do questions and they need to know how to answer. You need to practice a lot, and a lot. And this is so important because maybe you will be under pressure and you need to check that when you are like selecting who is going to represent your team. And well, also related to that, how we select our impact team, like as I say, is when auditions and we do like an impact simulation during the auditions. It's not only like that. We like do classes to prepare, and then we do the audition. First of all, we teach the students how they can present and something like that to like be mapping who can do it. And then we do the auditions and it can change during the years, but you can like do an audition with the persons who have more experience, and then they can present it. They can like be the judges that can like saw the other persons that wanna be like the impact team. And well, and how are we prepare our impact team? Well, we memorize an speech that is so important because when we start to do it like 5 or 6 years ago, because in the beginning we don't usually do it, and it's because like we saw that the most important things that have like this recognized for be Hall of Fame, they prepared a lot for do the speech, and not they don't speak only because yes, they prepare and they really know about what they are talking about. So memorizing the speech is the most important thing, but not only that, you need to transmit that feeling. So if you write a speech, you need to be sure that the persons who are going to tell to the judges feel like empathic with that speech and practice like gesture and voice tone, because obviously when you are talking about a problematic that is so sad, you cannot be happy, you cannot be like louding about that, and you need to practice like answer his question, and that's it. I can tell you. And in my experience, I mean, it's a beautiful experience. If you have the opportunity to participate in that, I completely recommend you that. But because you can know more about your team in another way, you can like catch more teams that you didn't notice when you were only like doing like in your mind like things in your area and the things that you are only ball. You can know more about how your team was created and the history that they had, and you can understand why the persons want to be in that team. um well, as I say, the team is the chosen team according to what your members identify them. Make the team part of the speech and help yourselves to the team for the visuals. For example, I think that the last year we used the prototypes that we have to present like the plannings and explain like the solutions that we do. And in the 2 years ago, they they use like a theme about music, I think. So they present like the music, the songs with how can I say this? Vinyls, and it's related to your thematic, your topic, and it can be like a visual impact for the students actually to catch their attention, to not only speak and speak and speak, and because this is could be something varied. And the visuals can include clothing related to the den, banners, digital presentation, prototypes, etc. And bit strategy. My team is going to present that.
Okay. Hello once again. Before we get into the PET part, does anyone have any questions about the impact? Because we have like the impact and the PET. We actually have a competition group called recognition team, and we divide it into two parts. One is the impact and one is the PET group. The impact are obviously the people who go into the impact room, and the pit crew is the people that always stay in the pit and are like like attending people who come to the pit asking in general questions about robot or about projects, and we clarify doubts, or in general just attending judges who are like qualifying general awards. So we right now we're going to be transferring into the pit crew part. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about the impact part. Mm, tiempo.
Well, Uh, it needs to match because we notice that sometimes the judges from the impact room go to the pit and are going to ask questions related to the project, related to the things that you say. So it needs really too much, and that the thing that we use is like when the impact team finish with their speech, then they go to the pit and they help to the persons that are in pit. But there are like two different groups in our team because we do like group up competitions, something related to communication, something related to the synergy, something related to the impact, something related to the pit. But and the impact is and the pit are differently only because 1% in the impact group and the others in the pit. But the persons who are in the pit know everything about our projects and know everything about the things that are going to say the impacting, so they can solve the answers. And actually they don't need to remember a speech, but they need to have the knowledge about that.
decoramos, pero normalmente como es una conversación guiada, pues.
Yeah, well, we only put like it's like a good conversation. So, the persons who are like in the pit and who are in the impact, it could be the same or it could be different. It depends how many persons can go to that regional.
But well, I mean, yes, as a team, we have the same team. We actually have like a big. We try every year. We try to make a like a big, like a short, clean process to choose the team that we're going to use each year. And maybe this year we won't even use a theme. We don't know yet, but it's important that for us that all of the team, like the 121 people, are in sync and are agreed that we are going to use that team because that is what you're gonna do in the competition. So if you do not connect with the topic of music, um, it doesn't mean that you're not going to perform great at the competition, but it adds up at your performance. So if you connect with this year that they presented the impact, they connected a lot with the space team, and it was like a plus when they were talking because it's like okay, so I know I like my team, I know my team, I am going to talk about my team, and I'm going to do it through a team that I also like. So I am very comfortable talking and doing this. So in the pit, the only thing that we do is that we decorate. So because I don't know if you are talking to someone in a normal conversation, you're not going to use like space metaphors or something because we don't usually use space metaphors or team metaphors with judges or with people in general. But we do decorate and have like merch, let's say like, yeah, like merch. Well, not merch, like souvenirs themed, but not the things that we talk about. They are not themed in the pit. In the impact, yes. Yeah. So, is there any other question? Okay. So the pit crew preparation. Okay, as I said, it's the group of people that are not well that are in the pit. Receiving people in general, judges, people from other teams, sponsors that maybe come to the regionals. And in Tigres, the pit people, there's a lot. So there it usually, or we have noticed that every year is like from 15 to 20 people that apply to be in the recognition team in general. Only 3 to 4 can be in the impact part because we have our three main impacts, but also like the backup if someone doesn't feel great or can't make it to the regional. So there's 3 to 4 people that participate in the impact part. But like what happens to the rest of the people? They come to the pit preparation. Well, they come to the pit crew part and there can be 20 people at the same time in the pit. So what we do in competition is that we make a schedule and the people uh, come in the right time that they have to be. And so how do we manage? O sea, like picture this, like there's 20 people that they should be at different times in the pit and that they should be in sync about who already came to the pit, what are, if someone came to the pit already, what information did they receive? um, if that's I don't know, for example, if a judge already came and comes back because they had a question and the person who attended that judge is not longer there, how can we manage so everyone is in sync about what they should say in general, like what they should say, how they should say it, when they should share personal experiences. So all of this, we do it through, I think, 3 pillars. So the first one is, in general, no, well, I'm going to start with with this one, with the middle one, is practice sessions. So, and we have a preparation time that is like about a month and a half, where we prepare the students with all of the information that they have to know about the projects, specific details, how does the engineering behind the project work. And we group them normally in like 3 persons groups, and always random people, because they have friends, they are friends between each other, but sometimes, I don't know, let's say I talk a lot with Jessica and I don't talk a lot with Julio, so maybe I will pair me and Julio and Jessica with somebody else, so I can have more synergy with Julio, and I still have synergy with Jessica, but I need to make sure that everyone agrees and everyone knows each other well and have synergy. um, so that's how we do, that's why we do practice sessions, also to avoid branching. Um, we have noticed that when you're talking, and especially I have seen a lot of students here in our team that we are practicing, and it's like, okay, so let's pretend that I am a judge and I come to your pit and you need to talk to me about something, like about your team in general. Okay, and they start like, "Hey, my name is la 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 la, and we are Tigres 6652, and we have a lot of projects, and I care about this project a lot, and I care about this team a lot." And you start telling me like personal experiences, but at the same time about the projects, and at the same time what is the team, and at the same time like a lot of things, and it's a lot of information I am getting, but at the same time I'm getting nothing because all of the information that you're giving me. So we need to make sure that they go straight to the point. And that's why we need, before everything begins, we need to make sure that they know what we want the judge or the person who's hearing us to remember at the end of the conversation. So when you're talking, a lot of students get nervous because, oh my God, it's a judge that is listening to me. I am very nervous because we might win an award if I say something that I should say in the right way. So they get nervous, they start branching, and they lose the point that they are trying to get to. So you always have to keep in mind what you want the judge to remember at the end of the day. For example, in the team right now we have 9 projects, but there was a time where we had like 12, 13 projects, and we know the judges don't have like an hour, 2 hours to stay in the pit listening to you. So you have to be very concise and say like, okay, I can make the judge to understand what we do, specifically what we do in every project and the ratios of everything, but I can say to them that we have 12 projects in 5 different focuses, and when they remember my team, they are going to remember that I work with education, equality, medio ambiente, pero ¿cómo se dice? Environment, yes. Okay. I don't know, like the judge is not going to remember everything that I say, but he's still going to remember that I work in different focuses, that I have a very big, useful project about environment. And that is the point of the conversation I want to get to. So that's important. Practice sessions, and that's why we do practice sessions. The second thing is it's very basic, to know the topic profoundly, like that when you're talking, you should know what you're talking about. And in the context of our team is that we have 10 years of history. And some of the projects, there's one specific project that's called Intercambiando Sonrisas, that would translate as exchanging smiles. And it's like doing activities with vulnerable communities. So that specific project has lasted for the 10 years that the team has been existing. We also have a veteran project of 8 years, another of 6 years. So there have been a lot of changes in these projects, and we need the students to know the history of the team and of the projects, but not everything. Maybe if Jessica knows a lot about Theraplay, which is a project that that's in team, and I know a lot about exchanging smiles, maybe you put us together in the pit, and if somebody asks, hey, do you have something related to engineering? Yes, and she explains Theraplay, and then I explain something more related about outreach, and so that's how you are adaptable. So when you know what you're talking about, you can improvise more easily. You are able to clear specific doubts because we have engineering projects, as I say, and sometimes when you're in the pit, people come like, oh my god, and how did you manage to do that? Or I don't know, you're a lot of people, how do you manage to reunite together and work as a team? So those are specific doubts, but sometimes people even have and more specific doubts. So you need to be able um, to at least give them a basic answer. And so yeah, when you know the topic profoundly, you can share your team's growth and obstacle overcoming. And finally, you need to when you're talking in the pit, this is a guided conversation that you guide. You need to convey feelings. How do you do that? Share personal experiences, show that you care about the team, show how you care, and especially just connect with the ones who are listening to you. So that's it. And ay, esta cosa ya no jalo. Ah. So when you prepare to do a great work in the pit and in the impact, the results are a coherency in the beat, like you see like a harmony in the team, you see synchrony, you have more effective communication, meaning that you don't waste the people's time, and you have an engaged audience.
Okay. Read the judges in bed. Well, when the student is presenting to the judges, they need to watch the body language of the judges, listen to the first question. It tells you what they are care about. I mean, for example, if you are presenting a project about, I don't know, education, and maybe they are going to the first question is because they want to know more about it, and maybe it's for some reasons. Maybe it's because they are looking maybe for your, I don't know, like they want to give you like the impact, so they are going to ask how you work and how many persons you impact and things like that. Or it's a judges from the sustainability award, maybe it's going to ask you about how you can like to make that project sustainable, and you need to catch the tension. And so with that question you can like guide the other questions to that, and actually did read their reactions, because maybe they are start to worrying if you talk a lot. So if you catch that, you can change the conversation to do it more like dynamics, and then work as a team. This is so important. As we say, we are a big team, so we select a group to be in the pit to present the projects, and they need to know like how the made ants work. And it's important because maybe you don't know something about the project, but you're really sure that your mate knows about it. So he can speak for you, and or you can like look him and then like he's going to understand that he is going to speak or something like that. And be real and passionate. Like, I mean, obviously, like when you go to regional, you want to win an award. You want to win an award, but the most important is represent your team. Like enjoy that regional, that champions, most as you can, and like show that you really love be in your team. Show that the robotics is your passion, that the social projects are your passion, that you really love being that place and you really appreciate that. And the judges are going to see that. And that's so important. I can say that, like, in my experience, it is important. I participate like a minute in the pit, and during the EPAD also that it's so important because you can connect with the judges and they can like emphasize when you know like connect, have like a connection, and the judges are going to remember. And I don't know, that's the end. And if you have like questions about something and how we control something, or you don't understand, you didn't understand something, you can tell us and we are going to answer. Yeah, like thank you for that. Also, I want to share a team. I want to share like a tip for your students, and it's like, don't be shy. Like, be proud of your team. If you are proud of your team, you are going to talk. Naturally, you are going to talk, and it doesn't matter if you are and you say something wrong. You can correct, and that's it. Nothing is going to happen. And I think the most important is like represent your team, because you are in that place for your team and you need to be grateful with that. And like, you have a big opportunity that that not everyone have. And I saw that the last year in the world are a lot of wars, a lot of problems, a lot of persons that doesn't have the access to this opportunity to be in the first community. And also you can like express that, and you can express that you are grateful doing the best job that you can do. And if you have more questions, you can like ask me. I mean, the decision, I was part of the impact team, and also I am a student in the area of engineering, and it's like a hard work. But if you have questions about, or about how we organize it, or something that you didn't understand, I am really happy to answer you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Despierta, güera.
Wait a second, please. And see.
So there was the last session, right? Yeah, absolutely. We can still in contact with on WhatsApp, yes. So any question or whatever, you can we can still check in on WhatsApp. Thank you, Ari. Thank you for the invitation. We appreciate. We hope that in the future we can collaborate again. So we're very happy for this collaboration. So thank you so much. Yeah, of course. You too. Thank you very